Hey you guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rose. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe for more business, makeup, and hair tutorial. I would really appreciate it if you did. So let's get right into this video. In today's video, we are going to talk about how to find the perfect vendor, or how to find a vendor. So first things first, I have my fan right here. If the background is blowing, it's because it's hot as hell. It's real hot, okay? It's real hot. That's all I gotta say. And hopefully you can't hear it. I put it on the quietest setting, so there's that. And so yeah, and I have my notes just because I wanna get everything like right. I don't want to confuse y'all. So let's get right into this video. The first thing you need to know about vendors is that there's two types of vendors. There are, let me read it, factory vendors and trading companies. So factory vendors make products in factories. Basically, factory vendors is like the first, like the primary level of vendors, I guess you would call it. So they're like the products that they make, they're the ones who make the products to send to people, to send out to like whoever needs them. So this is what a factory vendor is. A factory vendor is, let me read it again. A factory vendor makes product in a factory. So basically, when you order from a factory vendor, it's cheaper because it's straight from where it came from. So there's no like extra fees or anything. The price is gonna be the price and it's cheaper. So the second type of vendor is a trading company. So a trading company gets products from the factory and sell them. So basically, the trading company is like the second middleman or whatever. So they like get products from the factory vendors, which is where they make the product straight from the factory, and they buy it and then they resell it to somebody else. So basically, these products are usually more expensive because they have to account for like the money that they spent to buy the product, and they have to account for the profit to be able to buy more product. If that makes sense. That makes sense. Business 101. So yeah, let me repeat it again. A factory vendor makes products in the factory, and the products are usually cheaper. And what is it called again? A trading company gets product from a factory vendor to resell it. So that's the first thing you need to know in finding a vendor. You need to know what type of vendor you are working with, if you're working with a factory vendor or a trading company. The second thing you need is to get a WhatsApp. You need to get a WhatsApp. You need to get a WhatsApp because most of the vendors are from China, and that is their main way of communication. I cannot speak English today. That is their main way of communication. They mainly use WhatsApp because it's super easy. Anybody who knows that you have family in other places, you gotta have WhatsApp on your phone. So you probably already have WhatsApp on your phone. If you Black, Spanish, whatever, you know, you got the WhatsApp. So that is their main way of communicating with you, through WhatsApp. Once you find a vendor, they're usually from China, and they will communicate with you through WhatsApp. So the third thing you need to have to find the perfect vendor is a PayPal, because the PayPal prevents you from getting scammed. If you were to like find a vendor and they're like, oh, you gotta pay through this and that, and you're like, what the hell is all of this? You've never heard of it before. It's probably a scam. PayPal, everybody knows PayPal. PayPal is safe, and just use PayPal if you like buying things with a vendor. It's basically like one of the safest ways to pay your vendors, because you're able to get your money back if something goes wrong, you know. Because PayPal has this thing where if it's like your first time getting a transaction from somewhere, or like somewhere like you've never gotten it before, they hold the money for like 21 days just to make sure, like, so the money is basically for nobody. It's like in the middle. They hold it in for 21 days just to make sure that your product gets to you and that your product is what you ordered. Just in case it's not, then you get to have your money back. If it is, then they take their money. So yeah, which I think is really cool, but it's also kind of not helpful if you're kind of running a business and you need the money, but it's kind of safe. So get a PayPal. So the fourth thing you're gonna need, the fourth thing you're gonna need is vendor apps. So what I mean by vendor apps is like apps where they have like wholesale things. So those apps are AliExpress, Alibaba, DHgates, and Instagram. These are like the main apps where you find like vendors. Vendors always post things on these things. So let me repeat it again. AliExpress, Alibaba, DHgates, and Instagram. So AliExpress and Alibaba, most of the vendors on these, and DHgates. So AliExpress, Alibaba, and DHgates, most of the vendors on this app are factory vendors. So the products are usually cheaper when you order it from AliExpress or Alibaba or DHgates. But Instagram, half of the time, Instagram's, ooh, my phone is dying. We gotta hurry up. So half of the time, the vendors on Instagram are I'm forgetting the name, are trading companies, because they're usually small businesses that do wholesale, which a lot of business start doing that because it's very convenient. If your main vendor runs out of something, then you just go through Instagram and you're able to find a vendor. So AliExpress, Alibaba, and DHgates, most of these vendors are so AliExpress, Alibaba, and DHgates, most of those vendors are factory vendors. And Instagram, most of the vendors are Instagram or trading companies. So the fifth thing, which I think should be like the first actual thing in finding a vendor, or like finding a vendor, is to know your product. Once you like did all of those previous setups, so like the first four, once you've done all of that, you need to, once you get your product, like once your product is in your hands, you ordered it from AliExpress, whatever, you need to know your product by heart, because people will ask you all types of questions. Trust me, they will ask you all types of questions. And if you don't know your product, if you don't know how to answer it, they're not going to trust you. They're going to be like, how are you selling something that you don't know? Like, you don't know the product, you don't know what you're selling, basically. So you need to know your product by heart. You need to know what you're selling. So let's say if you're selling lashes, you need to know if your lashes are faux make, real make, if they're 3D, if they're 4D, if they're 5D, if they're C curl, a D curl, a F curl, a E curl, whatever. You need to know your products by heart. And you need to also try your products. You don't want to sell something you've never tried before and then realize that it's not good, you know? Or let's just say if you're selling lip gloss, in my case, you need to know what's in all your what's inside all your ingredients and what's inside the ingredients of your ingredients. So what I mean by that is, what are all your ingredients? So you would basically use VersaGel, oils, and like pigments, or like liquid concentrates. You would use those. But what I mean by what's inside what's inside the ingredients, wait, what did I say? What's inside the ingredients that are inside your ingredients, basically. So what I'm talking about is the oils. What's inside your coconut oil? Is it just coconut oil, or is it coconut oil mixed with something else? What's inside your pigments? Is it mica pigment? Is it glitter? Is it chunky glitter? Is it this? Is it that? What's inside your VersaGel? What type of gel are you using? Are you using a mineral gel? Are you using a what is it? Satin gel or velvet gel? I don't remember, but You need to know all of that because people will ask you questions. People will, you would get the weirdest questions that you've never like known would exist. That's why you need to know your product by heart. Trust me, you need to know your product by heart, because I'm the type of person, if I ask a question and to a vendor or to somebody and they don't know how to answer my question, I will literally be done with you, because it's like, you don't know your product, you don't know what you're selling, so why would I buy it from you, you know? So you have to know more than the customer, basically. So the sixth thing is know what questions to ask your vendors. So when you are getting a product from a vendor, you need to know what questions to ask. You need to know how much of the product you need, how much they can make, and etc, etc. So I am going to make a separate video on exactly what to ask your vendors when you are sending them an inquiry. So yeah, watch out for this video because it's gonna be a good one. I'm going to try to do like screen recordings and everything. So yeah, you need to know what to ask your vendor when you're ordering your products. So number 7, I put as be a nighttime person, because most from like previous numbers, whatever previous points, like I said, most of your vendors are from China, and China is in a way like totally different time zone from us. When it's nighttime for us, it's daytime for them. So that's why you need to be a nighttime person. Sometimes you're gonna have to be up at 1, 2, 3 a.m. talking to your vendors, just because that's the time that they're open, basically. So let's just say you were to have like a physical shop or a physical like boutique or whatever, you wouldn't be open at 1 at night, 1 a.m, right? So once like their business hours are open, that's most likely when they can talk to you, which is nighttime. A lot of time, well, some of the Chinese vendors, they do text during the daytime of our time zone, but it's very rare that you find a vendor that will do that. So this is why I'm saying you need to be a nighttime person, because you're going to spend a lot of all-nighters. Because sometimes if you like, especially when you're getting things custom made, sometimes the vendor wants to like talk to you or FaceTime you, well, not FaceTime, but WhatsApp video call you, show you the products, tell you like where you want it, how you want it, and all of that. And that is most likely going to happen at nighttime, because they're open and they're at their factory or they're at their shop or whatever, and they're showing you what they're going to do for you. So be a nighttime person. It's gonna be very beneficial to you. So yeah. Number 8 is to have backup vendors. So sometimes vendors, they just stop making products. Sometimes they will stop making the product. You don't know why. Usually they just sometimes stop making product, or they run out, or they sell out, because a lot of people get the same product. Most like 9 out of 10 times, there won't be only one vendor for a specific product. Usually there's more than one vendor, like 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 vendors for that one product. Let's just say you're selling, I don't know, you're selling scrunchies, right? There's usually, well, let me do phone cases. You're selling phone cases, right? There's usually 2, 3 vendors with that same phone case. So you need to have a backup vendor just in case your main vendor has a problem, or is sold out, or doesn't have that product and sold out, and yeah, same thing. Or has a problem with the product, or like a problem with the machine or whatever, and is slowing their factory down. You need to have backup vendors, because your customers will be upset when they when it's been a week and a half, and their product is still not at their door. You know, you need to have fast shipping. Fast shipping is the key. So to have fast shipping, you need to have fast vendors. And sometimes the vendors may have some problems too, you know. It's not, nothing is perfect. They may have a problem and they're all the way in China, you know. It's like a whole, like, whatever. But if you have a backup vendor, if your first vendor has a problem, then you can go to your second vendor and order the product, and then your product can get to your customer, and your customer will be happy. So have a backup vendor. One or two backup vendors would be great. So sometimes people make like such custom products that there's not that many backup vendors, but the more backup vendors, the better. And also make sure that you test the products from all the vendors that you have, if you can, from all the vendors, to know, okay, I don't like this vendor, I'm not gonna do it, you know. So backup vendors is key. So number 9 is ask for proof. So I put ask for proof because you want to know that your vendor is not scamming you, because a lot of people will scam you. I have an example. I'm gonna do a video on that once I take these braids off, because y'all, I was shocked. Okay, I was shocked. You need to make sure, you need to get proof. So like I said earlier, sometimes you need to be on like video calls with your vendors. That is mainly why is people blowing up my phone. That is mainly why you need proof. So basically you need proof that the products are real. You need to know how they're doing your product, where they're doing it. Are they being sanitary with it? Or are they like doing all the things that they're supposed to do? So having proofs like pictures, videos, FaceTime, the way it looks, the way it feels and everything. The vendor can even FaceTime you and show you like, this is my factory, this is where I work, this is what I do. If they have a problem doing that, then there's something wrong. They shouldn't have a problem showing you where they make their products or how they make their products, because why would you not show me where you make your products? That means there's something sketchy about it. See what I'm trying to get at? See what I'm trying to get at? So yeah, ask for proof. Don't be scared to ask for proof, especially when your products are custom made. When your products are custom made, this is the best time this is the best time to ask for proof, because usually that will cost you a couple $100s to get a product custom made, because they won't custom made one or two things. They're gonna custom made 100, 200, 300. They're not gonna do little quantities, because it comes all the way from China and it's kind of useless to do small quantities of things, and the shipping is really expensive. You don't want to pay you don't want your shipping to be more expensive than the actual product. It's not worth it, basically. So that's why when you get your product custom made, they usually have a higher MOQ. So they would do like 100, 200, 300 of them, even 1,000. So having a proof that your product is being done correctly is very, very important. Otherwise, you're gonna lose hundreds or thousands of dollars, and you don't want that to happen. So get proof that your products are real, or that your products are not are being done right, basically. And last but not least, number 10, you need to get to know your vendors. Your vendors are people too. You guys got to remember that they're people too, and you are their customers. So it's like you need to get to know them. You need to be able to trust them. You need to know if they're good people. You need to know if they're not gonna scam you and all of that. So get to know your vendors. It is very important. Ask them questions. Don't be scared to ask them questions. They should be able to answer you. Think of it this way: if you are selling a product and your customer has a question, you need to be able to answer them. Your customer needs to be able to trust you, and that your product is being done right, and that your product is what you're saying it is. So it's basically the same thing with a vendor. A vendor, you and the vendor's relationship need to be good. If you have a bad relationship with the vendor, you don't know what they might do to your products. Honestly, you don't know if they're gonna mess it up on purpose. You don't know if they're gonna lose it on purpose, or your product is lost in transit. You don't know if that's true or not, you know. So you need to be nice to your vendors, and because you're their customer. So I'm not saying that the vendors are gonna be rude to you, but it's a two-way street. You respect them, they respect you. Your product gets to your door the way you want it to be. This is simple and basic logic, I guess. I don't know. But yeah, you need to be able to know your vendor and trust them. Alright, you guys, that was it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. Go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it if you do. It would be very helpful to me and to you, because I get to make more contents for you guys. So that's basically what I have to talk about. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. I will answer all of your questions as to the best of my abilities. So yeah, I will answer all the questions you have with what I know. So yeah, this was how to find a vendor, and I hope that you learned something, and I hope that your business succeeds. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next video. Bye, y'all.